Hello and welcome to Mind Light, a program designed to stimulate your thinking about life. My name is Anna Vitale, and I'm a certified hypnotist. You know, when I became a hypnotist in 1987, I began to realize just how amazingly powerful the dynamic energy of the human mind really is. I began to experience both personally and through the individuals who came to me in my practice that change is always possible. On this program, we're going to focus on the dynamics of change. Change isn't about the nickels and dimes someone puts in your hand when you give them a $10 bill. Change is the end result of developing awareness and making a definitive decision. It happens when you make the decision to do something different from what you've done before, or to go somewhere in your life that you've never been to before. The change you may be contemplating might be a small one, or it could be a monumental one. Whether large or small, change begins with that very important thing called decision. And that's how change transforms itself from just a thought into an action. Making a change takes some kind of thinking. Why? Because it actually is much easier and more comfortable to keep doing what you've been doing all your life. But moving out of your comfort zone into a realm of change and possibility is an exciting move forward. Sometimes change is inspired by an event, a realization, an action by someone else, or an unexpected event in your life. It takes a willingness to step outside of your behavior or thinking patterns and allowing yourself to see the world or yourself or others in a different way. What might happen if you make any change, whether large or small? Well, it might just begin a whole process inside of you that will make you stronger emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Every change starts with an internal dialogue. You might hear yourself saying, "I want to change this," or "I can't go on like this." Listen to those words. If they keep repeating themselves to you, take that as your cue to move towards change. The bottom line is that you are not in charge of your life until you decide to make that change. And sometimes it's best to start with baby steps. Perhaps you want to go to bed earlier each night so that you feel rested the next day. Perhaps you want to start reading more and watching less television. Perhaps you want to start taking better care of your physical body. Perhaps you want to drop some weight. Perhaps you want to start making your own meals instead of having unhealthy, cheap fast foods. If we're going to stick to making any kind of change, no matter how small, the next change becomes easier. We habitually wait for the start of a new year to think about what we want to change. Where I say, why aren't we seeing every waking day as an opportunity to make a change? Why are most of us afraid to make change? You know, too many of us ruminate, speculate, pontificate, and finally procrastinate on making changes until one day we look at our reflection in the mirror or the calendar on the wall or the clock measuring our time, and we realize that time and life are not going to stop just for us. It's just going to keep passing us by until we grab it and make it and shape it into the life we want. Is there something you need to change in your life? Heck, if there isn't, then you're really not looking at yourself with clear lenses, are you? Each and every one of us can change and can use change, whether in the way we think, the things we do, the way we treat others, the way we take care of ourselves, or the way we interact with the whole world. Every one of us can use a change, whether it's a small one, like learning to be more affectionate and caring to someone you love, your children, your relatives, the world, or whether the change is monumental, like moving to another city, getting a divorce, quitting your job, quitting smoking, dropping those 50 pounds, or changing the way you treat yourself. The world needs you to care. We all need you to care. You need you to care. Evolution is not a fantasy, it's a reality. Change is the stuff that makes us all evolve. Not one of us can say with certainty that we have reached absolute perfection. And guess what? None of us probably ever will. I don't think any one of us has not heard the expression, oh, I'm too old to change, or I can't help myself. I'm just like my mother. I'm just like my father. I'm just like my uncle. When you heard, or when you hear anyone, or even yourself say this, it means that you really don't care much about yourself. Or it means that, hey, I'm just like anyone else, but who I really am. Is that true? No. Don't be afraid of change. Make the changes that you need to make, even if you start with the small ones. A small one will lead to a larger one, and a larger one. Why? Because when you think about it, things happen. Because everything in life begins with a thought. Thank you.